Hello, guys, and welcome back to Trekyards. I'm Captain Foley.
Hello, I'm Connor Cookins.
And I have a new interior. I mean, I have for a little while. Just saying, this is like the dining room class ship interior because it's flood downstairs office. No thing.
Or speaking of flood, those particles flooded towards the Archimedes and undid the ship's power. It all connects, Stuart. Well done.
The great koala has blessed us with
The great koala in the sky.
Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about the new ship from the last episode, or season finale.
That intro was just all over the place, wasn't it? That was
it was
a hell of a thing. Sorry,
we're back on track now. You sound like Tech Sergeant Chen there. That's a hell of a thing. Anyway, yes, interiors of the new Obina class, otherwise known as the USS Archimedes, captained by Sonia Gomez.
Of TNG fame. Of hot chocolate TNG fame.
Yeah. So we're going to be taking a look at the interior and comparing it to a few things and discussing it because it's a new ship and we love new ships.
And of course we have done a first look and a full breakdown of the outsides, which as you know, you guys would think, it's an Excelsior. But when you break it down with all its views, which they were very generous with in the episode, every element is different while being familiar. It's an interesting version. Now, the interiors are always odd in lower decks because you have the Cerritos itself, which is quite big, low detail, very much its own visual style. And obviously we were wondering, is that the new visual style or is that a representation of this class? However, we have seen things like the Galaxy class, beautifully redone with only a few low dexinisms. The Titan, again, very close. So the style is interesting. And so whenever you see a ship like this, where it is a higher end ship, it is a ship you would expect to see on Voyager or TNG, what details they do or don't do to kind of elevate it. And, you know, one of the big things about the show is that, yes, the First Contact uniforms represent the standard of the fleet, the standard explorers, cruisers, you know, the premier people, and the lower decks uniforms represent the lower branches, the more service people. And so just by the uniform choice, we know this is a ship of the fleet. Maybe not a new one or anything, because it's still a Excelsior-esque design, but it's a newer ship. And so I was really excited to see how many interiors we'd see, what sort of detail. What did you think when you started seeing this? And obviously we can go to the first picture, which shows kind of the first two views. What was your first impression in the show, and then now you're looking at it?
Well, I was just happy to see it. I wasn't sure what we were going to see necessarily. I wasn't sure how much of the adventure was going to happen on the ship. It would have been nice to see some corridors and some other stuff, but I really liked the initial look we got and the color scheme. I like the beige and the purples and stuff. It looks really, really nice. But looking at the pictures here, I mean, it's actually a very, very nice bridge and one that I'd like to serve on or be captain of. It looks warm, it looks welcoming, and it definitely fits in with the TNG vibe. That being said, I can just tell from the initial shot of her in the captain's chair there that it's very Excelsior-like with the MSD behind and the turbo lifts, and just where everything is situated feels like, you know, Sulu should be sitting there. Just change the color palette a bit. So, but yeah, it was great to see.
I mean, it does make sense if it's clearly an Excelsior lineage vessel, that it would share an Excelsior lineage bridge. But it's still a TNG era ship, and you would assume those things would be refitted as they went. And certainly for me, I liked seeing it, although the more I stare at it, it's the LCARs that screw it over for me. They're muddy purple and don't stand out. And we know they've had green LCARs and orange for the Cerritos, but they're the worst, in my opinion, we've seen so far. They don't look nice, they don't look as functional, and they just, the whole bridge is a two-tone. It's browny, orange, and purple. I just wish it was just the TNG LCAR system, or the movies one. It's just all this, you know, if you remove the people, it'll all be two-tone. And that, I think, really was a missed trick.
I don't mind it. I think LCAR is just one of those things you can change, just as it's a theme setting on your phone. Just change the color. I kind of like the purple. I can see what you're saying though. I definitely prefer, as you guys know, the black background with the blue and the green. It really pops. So that's like my favorite style of LCARs. But I think this looks fine. I like it.
Yeah, I just think it would heighten the visual, the variety and popping, because they kind of just blend in. I mean, you can see how non-impactful the MSD behind her is. It gets so lost in that top picture. Whereas the purple of the pillars is quite odd, but the browns of everything else is very First Contact E, Enterprise E, all works quite well. And then they keep the silver plate of the floor elements, which is very much a Star Trek 6 sort of that era. So it's fun to see what they have and haven't kept. Any thoughts on the view screen?
Feels very Star Trek 6, like Enterprise kind of thing. But I like it. It looks good.
One of the things you notice, the view screen is dependent on what format the show's being filmed in. In TOS, it was a square for the square TV show, and TNG still a square. Suddenly, you reach the motion pictures, Star Trek 6, like I say, very anamorphic widescreen because that's what's filling the frame. So yeah, it's like, ooh, cinematic, because that's the format of it was still in a widescreen format for this, but that's kind of the vibe they're going for. But let's go to the next two pictures, which kind of gives a real big sense of the bridge. And yes, I've digitally brightened this, and of course the ceiling.
Well, like I said, it has very much the look of the Enterprise A bridge, even from Star Trek 6. That kind of layout, having the skylight things are awesome. Good idea. That's kind of always been a trope. Even with TNG, it's invisible to certain forms of electromagnetic radiation, which means, or transparent to. Anyway, so I think it's great. I don't think the Excelsior necessarily had that. So, and we got to be clear, this is not an Excelsior. It's not even an Excelsior refit. It's very different from the Excelsior. If you watch our full breakdown video, we actually do the side-by-side comparisons, and it's quite different. So,
Well, at least the outsiders. And yeah, it definitely gives me Enterprise B vibes, and we'll see that in a minute. But I mean, it makes sense. It's very conventional, and these bridges do actually have a lot of space. I know there's kind of a wide-angle lens vibe. It's definitely bigger than it's, that top picture than it actually is. But it's meant to be that kind of like, oh my god, we've all lost power view. And the window, it was, well, the bridge ceiling, what do you call it? Thank you. Yeah, the bridge skylight. So this is an interesting one because I've worked with a lot of bridges now for my fan films, and the Enterprise D, the skylight was a single middle hole circle. The rest of it was lights. So there was only a small, tiny port. The Enterprise E had, and we'll see that in a minute, it's the exact design of the Enterprise E bridge, but those are light panels. They are not transparent pieces. The bridge isn't a big window. There is nothing. There's no skylight. So there's an interesting choice to make it a skylight because it's not what it was in E at all. I guess it's not being lit by anything at this point then. I can kind of, like you say, it's metal that changes between things, but that's never been a thing, really. You would never expect, someone to say, right, Excelsior, turn the top of the bridge into a visible see-through window. Look, space. No, they're lights. They're not. There's hull, So I'm not visually beautiful, but they've completely shifted how that's meant to be.
I agree with you with the hull thing, but at the same time, it is cool to be able to be make it opaque so you can't see through it, turn it into a light, turn one off, so you got just the front section that's like a skylight. I don't know.
But you would assume that the default state, if there's no power, be to not have it be translucent, because then if there's you can't block out the radiation, you can't block out the brightness. It's better to be in darkness than to be blinded by a nebula and you can't see, or be see-through. So if there's no power, it should be in an off state.
Well, the reason that this is here though is because there's no power. The view screen's not working, so you need to see the planet, the tumble, the danger. But
then I would have designed it like the Enterprise D with a smaller. It can be any design. But speaking of comparison though, now we are going to go to Enterprise B in a minute, but this is a brief comparison with the actual Excelsior because people said it's like an Excelsior. Yes and no. Clearly similar vibe, but obviously the Excelsior itself was based on the Star Trek 6, based on Star Trek 5, based on Star Trek 4, based on Star Trek 3. It's a legacy factor. But really, comparing it to the Enterprise B is the one, because that's the version that has the secondary hull elements that this is linking to.
Yeah.
There you go.
And it's very unique on its own. It's different than either the Excelsior or the B, if you look at it. It's more similar to the B with the turbolift shafts, actually, where the turbolift door is there. But it is missing that console behind the captain and things like that. So it's very much in that Excelsior lineage, but its own thing. But yeah, I didn't even realize that it's much more like the B than it is of the Excelsior. So that's cool.
I mean, those additions are only for this ship, and it definitely is that, which makes sense. I mean, those are the ones that would be, they've evolved into that for a reason. But obviously, you can see that even with it being similar-ish, the lights are still different. The padding is still different, but the same. I do kind of wish the MSC was bigger. I know it's a different focal length of lens, whatever, but it just feels so weedy in the back. It's nice to have, but it doesn't quite have the same pop. Although, you know, it makes sense to downsize the amount of consoles, because there's a lot of consoles to be. My God. I mean, it's wraparound consoles and bonus ones. Do you really need that many? So I appreciate the downsize, the...
Yeah, I also appreciate the modernization of the L-cars, though, to the TNG vibe from the movie era that we see here, so...
I actually quite like the fact that only the bottom area is the metal plate, and the rest of it is a classic carpet. It's odd, but I kind of like it.
No, I like it very much, actually.
Next view, though, is a direct side-by-side for the ceiling. I mean, it's not identical. It's actually less organically curved, but it's not the same ship, but it's clearly inspired. I mean...
Yeah, much closer, for sure. Yeah, the dome in the middle, that's very much the same, so...
Same but different, which is how it should be.
And yeah, they do work better as lights, obviously, if you want even lighting throughout your bridge, so...
And I mean, I've lit these things in 3D, and you can't successfully light the bridge with only the small lights. Like, they don't produce enough light. They might be all around the bridge, but they're not that much light. You need that top light, even at like 5%. And believe me, I've tried at like 5% to try and create the Stuart Foley approved of more muted lighting.
Yeah, I like darker bridges, for
Yes,
sure.
you do. So the next one, though, talking about bridges, on the bridge, obviously. This is a comparison of view screens, because there isn't a direct parallel here, which I really appreciate. The B is obviously on the top left, which arguably it should be the one that's, I could include Enterprise A, but it shouldn't have Enterprise A lineage. So look at the B, obviously Insurrection, which is the where this thing might have come from as well, from Nemesis, the modern era. The bottom left is obviously the new one. But, I mean, the Voyager one, look at the pieces it's pulling from in that as well. So, now you see them side by side. What are you thinking?
I like the Archimedes one the most, actually, of all these. It's really nice. I love the things at the side. And, I saw the Enterprise A view screen when I saw it, though. I just placed that upper part with the clock instead. But the black barrel on the bottom, very reminiscent of that. You see it on the Enterprise B there as well. I like it. I think it's a fantastic looking design. Although there is okay. I'm gonna say there's like 2 pillars there, but no railing. But there is a railing. It's just lower. It just seems like a weird choice.
Well,
okay.
I mean, again, it's where the camera is. I couldn't find a direct angle. But yeah, it's an interesting hybrid of everything. Because, like I say, there is a clock in Star Trek 6, but I guess it has 2 sets of blinkies for some reason, a top and a bottom pair. Don't know why. Okay, but I mean, I just see it as the same blinky as Voyager being pulled to the top, and then a bit of everything else inspired. It's a nice hybrid. It works quite well. It's kind of all of them put together. But yeah, there we go, guys. End of the first picture. Here is the bridge. Clearly Enterprise B, but tweaked a bit. What are your closing thoughts, Stuart?
Love it. Want to see more of it. I mean, now that they got the ship, maybe we'll see more of them in season 3. I don't know.
Well, we said that for Titan and...
I know. We did get some Oberth and Nova class or a Rhode Island class. Couldn't really tell at the end of the episode. So, I mean, who knows what's going to come in the future seasons of this show. But, happy to see it. Looks good. And I want to hear your thoughts, guys. Comment down below what you thought about this bridge. Did you see the comparisons or the similarities between the Enterprise B and the Enterprise E? All that cool stuff. Let us know in the comment section. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to click the notification bell icon so you can join our lives.
Mm-hmm. And if you want to support what we do, weekly content, a lot of weekly content, as you guys know, then super chatting during those lives is fantastic. We love that direct communication. It really does sort of keep us going, keep the conversations going, and you can often throw a curveball that makes us just go on a whole beautiful tangent, or support us monthly by Patreon, or join the channel on YouTube, or PayPal one time, trekyards@hotmail.com, or getting a shirt. So many great ways. If you can't, just like, subscribe, vote, and say hey. But if you can, please do.
That's right. So until next time, guys, I'm Captain Foley.
I am Connor Combs.
See you later.
Bye, guys.